Hello, this is Linda Crystal. Today we're here to talk about a missing young lady that disappeared when she was 20 years old. Tiffany Sessions disappeared from Gainesville, Florida, February 9th, 1989. 20 years this year. She's been missing. Lived with a roommate at Casablanca Apartments on Southwest 35 Place in Gainesville. Dressed in red jogging pants and a white sweatshirt with green lettering saying Aspen on the front, and her Walkman radio, wearing a blue-faced Rolex watch. She tells the roommate she's going to be back. She went to walk on Williston Road. Okay, she never comes back. So what happens to somebody? Where do they go? Now it's 20 years. No one's found her. The parents have gotten divorced. I'm sure the stress level is amazing. Of course, I've worked on a lot of these cases. So, yes, do I know there's a stress level? Absolutely, positively. I mean, this is probably the worst nightmare that could happen to anybody. Now, this woman here is gone for 20 years. Now, I know that the police enforcement agencies have on it. I've been seeing their presence, her pictures everywhere and this and that. However, there's no resolution. They haven't found anything. They don't know what happened to her. Well, somebody's got to know something, and something's happened to her. So I guess we have to continue digging, doing whatever we have to do to uncover what has happened to this young lady. She was just 20, beautiful girl, blonde hair. She was a student at the University of Florida, I believe, just north of where she lived. She did not live on campus. There are several people saying they saw her walking. My answer to that is, well, if somebody saw her walking, I mean, these are the people that we definitely want to question, that we want to press, the roommate. We want to know her friends. We want to know more about her. Apparently, there is somebody that knows something that happened to this young woman. People just don't disappear without an explanation. Now, of course, I know I've been doing profiles for over 30 years of my life, and the number one person you look at is a boyfriend or a spouse. He's the number one profile, usually. And I do know that there was an acquaintance. I'm not sure whether or not this was someone that was really locked into a relationship with her, but yes, he becomes a suspect. I understand he did do some time for drugs. This particular profile that I've done, yes, there's drugs and alcohol involved in this. Now, was she skirting on it? Was she sampling them? We have no information of any of that information at this point. We do know that she was going to college. As far as all the reports are, whether this should make a difference or not, she was a good girl, but it does. I find in other cases that if the people are suggested at all that there's going to be any hanky-panky in their lifestyle, basically they don't look for them. They don't bother. And everybody has a right to not be murdered, not be hurt. So I think we need to change the surface of how the enforcement agencies really take a look at these cases when they happen. They do not treat them seriously because they have so many people running away and disappearing. They never know when it is a serious situation. And so that's what we got going on here. I put a map together from Google Earth of information from the astrological chart of the day, because I am a forensic astrologist, probably the only known one that really has worked on quite a few serious cases, and also the astrological natal chart of Tiffany, so that we can compare, get an idea, get a location. If you take a look at this map, you're going to see that what I'm saying is an attack came from the east. Let's say she walked out, she's walking, she's got her Walkman on, she's listening to the music, bang, somebody comes up from behind her, she's not paying attention, grabs her, drags her into the woods, hauls her off into a vehicle, whatever, she's gone. Haven't found her. Her chart indicates that there is a head injury, that it was a surprise attack, possibly from a friend or someone that was in a relationship for her and knew her. So I really don't want to say that it was a random act. I really believe it was someone that was either watching her, someone that knew her, someone that lived nearby her, or worked right near her neighborhood, may have seen her walk every single day. We're talking about a beautiful girl. I can tell you that I've always been attractive all my life, and this does attract wacko magnet. And be aware of what is actually happening out there, because otherwise you're going to be a victim too. Tiffany, she was a Scorpio, indicating that she was psychic, that she could pick up things, that she had an awareness of this realm. Maybe this is why I'm being called to work on it. Okay, she was 20. It's indicating 2. I don't believe that she's far. I do believe that there were several different areas that she was taken to. Of course, a secondary crime scene, which they never found. This crime scene, I believe, is northeast. Magically, when I'm doing this profile, what do I see? Oh my gosh, it's right near one of the sites of Danny Rowland's Gainesville murder guy right up north by the foot of the camp. So I can tell you that this is very scary. I mean, he was convicted, he was put in jail, and he was sentenced to death by lethal injection. Now all of a sudden, one of her death zones of the day, I want to say, of the day that she disappeared, is actually right up there where Danny Rowlands did already do some murders. So now that's suspect. Also, the fact that the attack came from an area that is heavily wooded. Okay, he was known to live in the woods, and I believe there's a movie out, or someone's trying to make a movie, The Gainesville Murders. Well, anyway, the attack came from a wooded area. So it was never disclosed that she could be one of his victims. She was never found, so we don't really know this. I mean, maybe more time will actually come out that she actually was one of his victims. Also, a boyfriend that becomes the #1 profile. And also, there's a couple of guys around the town at that time. There's a lot of predators around, okay? That happens to be an area where there's a lot of predators. Anytime you find a university, you're going to find more predators, and this should put people on alert. Her family actually moved down from Massachusetts, okay? And what goes on now? Their daughter goes missing. What a shame. Not saying much for, people these days in society. So the other thing I want to say is that there is a potential burial site from Tiffany's chart that is actually southeast. 3 different planets indicate to me that she would be buried in the woods. Once again, Danny Rowlands, I used to keep bringing up his name, lived in the woods, camped out all the time, and everywhere I look, there's 9 planets that indicate that someone was working nearby, someone was strong, someone with construction. There's damage to the throat, there's damage to the head. He was not a very nice guy. He did quite a few things to people. Also that she would have damage to her stomach. So I'm documenting this so that we do have a documentation that I can do this. People, if you've seen anything, we'll take it back to 1989. I'm going to play a song here for you in a minute so you can actually hear the song, some of the songs of that time period. If you saw her walking, if you know anything at all, any little piece of information that went on in Gainesville that day, that night, that afternoon, February 9th, it was February 9th, it was the beginning of the year. It was a time when people were just getting out, going around, getting busy, whatever else, and it was a pretty busy time. It was a Thursday. People might have been going to the bank. They might have been going to the store. Please, people, we need your information. Somebody saw her. If you were a witness, come back and tell us again what you saw. Tell us anything you saw. This girl was wearing red sweatpants. She was a gorgeous girl. Somebody saw her. I do not believe that this was a money-oriented type of abduction either. I do believe it was sexually driven. Also that there would be abuse. So this is someone that was angry. This is someone that was mad. This is someone that already had a problem. There is a guy that's in jail, actually 2, by the name of Knickerbocker. The number of the day is 2. The letters are B, K, and T. Persons, places, or things with these letters B, K, and T, and also the number 2 are going to be working out in this case. There's already quite a number of things that I have found and given to the family and sent down to the police department. I really hope to find this young lady. She did not deserve this to happen to her, neither does her family. I have been working with Mrs. Sessions and trying to give her more information from the spiritual side of life, any ancient science that I can use to try to help uncover what went on that day. I did give them quite a bit of information along with this map, and maybe now with some more information they will be able to go back